Hey everybody, CoFilms here, and if you had told me 24 hours ago that I'd have seen the new Cloverfield movie today, I would have had a very hard time believing that. But Netflix truly shocked the world tonight, as I'm sure all of you already know. With zero notice, they announced during the Super Bowl that they'd be dropping the Cloverfield Paradox, the full movie, tonight. I've been following this movie through so many developments and delays for well over a year, so when I saw that teaser, I knew there was no way I was going to be able to get to sleep after the game, knowing that a new Cloverfield movie was out there for me to watch. So in short, I decided to stay up late and watch the movie. And my thoughts on the movie aside, I've compiled what I consider to be a pretty comprehensive list of Easter eggs that pop up throughout the film that connected to either other Cloverfield movies or other J.J. Abrams projects. So without much further ado, let's dive into them. First off, I want to tackle a few more obvious Easter eggs regarding actors who appear in the film. Mentioned in the end credits are two actors who appear quite a bit in J.J. Abrams projects, and for those of you who don't know, Abrams has served as a producer on the Cloverfield movies since the first installment in 2008. One actor is Simon Pegg, who has not only appeared in the Star Trek reboot series, the first two installments of which were directed by Abrams, but also other projects helmed by the director including Mission Impossible 3 and Star Wars The Force Awakens. Pegg also co-wrote Star Trek Beyond with the Cloverfield Paradox's co-writer Doug Jung. The other actor is Greg Grunberg, who starred in or cameoed in almost every J.J. Abrams project ever and is a childhood friend of the director's. Grunberg is credited as the voice of Joe, while Pegg is credited as the voice of a person heard over the radio. Interestingly enough, actor and executive producer of one of Abrams' earlier shows, Alias, Ken Olin, is also credited as a radio voice, and is a producer behind the show This Is Us, which was advertised numerous times throughout the big game tonight and aired an episode during the coveted post-game slot. Let's move on to a very important scene that happens within the first 15 minutes of the movie, 14 minutes in to be exact. We see the space crew watching an interview with a man named Mark Stambler, who not only writes a book called The Cloverfield Paradox, from which the movie gets its name, but also shares a glaring connection to a character in the Cloververse we've seen before. If the last name Stambler sounds familiar, it's likely because Howard Stambler is the name of John Goodman's character in 10 Cloverfield Lane, making it entirely possible that Mark and Howard are brothers. Also, while this next bit isn't confirmed, the woman interviewing Stambler during the scene bears a striking resemblance to the woman with a deformed face who begs Michelle to let her into Howard's bunker in 10 Cloverfield Lane. During the interview, Stambler claims that using the particle accelerator could rip open the membrane of space-time. He mentions how the mission could unleash monsters, demons, beasts from the sea, and not just in the present, but in the past and future too. The unleashing of demons in the past could be a reference to Overlord, a future Cloverfield movie that is expected to take place during World War II. The demons he mentioned could have something to do with it, as the movie apparently features supernatural entities in a Nazi-occupied village. Additionally, the Twitter handle at the bottom of the graphic shown during the interview, Paradox is Real, is a real Twitter page, although currently it's completely empty. Next up, a Kelvin gas station sign shows up a little over a minute into the movie, and again later on. Die-hard Abrams fans may recognize this as a commonly used gas station company in his movies, including in 10 Cloverfield Lane, in an early scene where Michelle pulls into a gas station. It's also the name of the gas station in the scene where Sheriff Pruitt is attacked in Abrams' Super 8. Some have theorized that the gas station being used in both films could mean that the two are connected in some way. The name Kelvin is meant to honor Abrams' grandfather, Harry Kelvin, who the filmmaker said in his 2007 TED Talk bought him his very first Super 8 camera. The next Easter egg I noticed is a pretty minor one, but it revolves around Taguwato, the Japanese mining company owned by Gnu Yoshida, which plays a major part in Cloverfield's alternate reality game. For fans of the ARG, the name Taguwato shows up in the middle of the movie during the magnetic scene with Chris O'Dowd's Mundy. Next up, a figure of a child holding a slusho is seen at the beginning of the movie, and even in the teaser trailer for the film. Slusho is a soft drink company in Japan owned by Taguwato, first mentioned in episode 2 of Abrams' show Alias. The Slusho logo is shown on Jason's shirt, and the company Rob works for in the first Cloverfield movie. Moving right along, in 10 Cloverfield Lane, while referring to Howard, Emmett says, "You should hear his theory on mutant space worms." And in the Cloverfield Paradox, creatures best classified as mutant space worms crawl around in Volkov's skin and burst out of him in the thousands following his death. Lastly, the final Easter egg I noticed deals with the final shot of the movie. The creature seen in the final shot is also possibly the mother of the monster from the first Cloverfield, rather than the same monster itself, as this monster is huge and the original Cloverfield monster has been described by Abrams as, quote, a baby. Although, admittedly, this aspect of the film still remains fairly unclear to me, and several aspects of it seem to contradict what was shown in Cloverfield. Alright everybody, so those are all the Easter eggs that I noticed, but let me know down below if I missed any. I'm definitely curious to hear what I didn't pick up on that you guys did. Also in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on the movie were. Personally, it's by far my least favorite Cloverfield movie, and despite some really interesting ideas and moments, I was generally disappointed. But having said that, I'm still really excited for whatever the Cloverfield series has in store for us next. And that does it for me. Guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.